Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BLCS 2023 Grand Circuit Winter Invitational Grand Finals. We have Draco Esports taking on NVS Esports as Blinksy, the sub in here for Gets in the Grand Finals, and joined by AWash for underway on Game 1.
Yeah, the substitution of Blinksy for Gets, for better or for worse, will bring a definite change to this NVS roster. I like the way that Gets played in the previous series, but don't be mistaken, Blinksy has a lot of potential, has played at an exceptionally high level of the game. Certainly will have a lot of pop-off potential against Draco, almost starting this series off with a bang, but Heb's able to get a crucial block.
Have some big clear there, and Draco Esports getting tested early. Something you love to see here for a good grand final. Game 7 buff on the way here, I'm calling it. But Game 1, quick start here, 40 seconds gone.
Yeah, we did, Nation, we were kind of chatting in DMs before this series started, but I still hold by the fact that Blinksy has taken a bit of a break away from Rocket League, so I wouldn't be too surprised if there's some like minor mistakes in here from Blinksy in terms of maybe rotation or some light touches that maybe go a little bit away from him. But like I briefly mentioned, the pop-off potential with him is going to be huge, and I'm sure NVS is going to be relying on channeling that energy somehow tonight.
Right, I think Draco, again, a top team here. They are getting tested early in this series, and as this series progresses, it's going to become more and more close here as NVS make the right adjustments, and Blinksy gets himself comfortable in the rotation with NVS. I think we're in for a good series here. 90 seconds gone, though.
Yeah, I think that NVS is also going to have to make sure that they don't become too reliant on Blinksy as well. The pass from Ink to Blinksy on the counter earlier was a decent idea, but I almost wish that Ink had kind of just taken it himself, forced the 50 maybe towards the infield instead of going for a little bit of a preemptive pass.
3 minutes left to go on the clock here. Ink pass across to Ethone, and Heps in the backfield. Now, big clear here for Heps and the rest of Draco Esports. 2 minutes gone, though, and Draco Esports still scoreless here as well as NVS, so no first blood just yet here.
Not quite yet. Both teams having half-decent opportunities. Blinksy able to beat Heps to the high 50 at the midfield. Two players at the end post missing for Draco. TKD not able to put it immediately on target. Now a little play between Heps and Ethone, able to see this at least out to midfield. TKD with the drop down to the ground. Vibing lands in front of it. Now Heps off the back wall out towards midfield. Counterattack ensuing. Shut down by a demo from Blinksy.
Now Ethone back towards center field. TKD on the right side here. Heps off the right corner, and now 2 minutes left to go, and Draco a chance to strike here. Ethone the shot left corner. He's going to score. 2 minutes to go. Draco Esports take the first goal of the game.
I think in any series this would be more or less expected, although decently surprised that it actually took this long for Draco to get on the board. NVS still able to see things out in this game. I believe that they can find another to make this a very close start. Off the kickoff, though, dangerous as Heps nearly had it goal. Ethone on the follow, also looking dangerous. Vibing's pass in field, not quite making it anywhere.
Here comes Blinksy downfield. Flip reset, gets it across, and scores. NVS tie it back up with 1:44 to go.
This is exactly what we were looking for from Blinksy. Give him the ball with just a little bit of boost in a 1v1 situation, and you have to back him in any of those types of moments. NVS right back in it now.
1:44 to go. Blinksy comes in clutch there to tie this one up. Spiving last man back as a pass across, but ain't able to cut it off. And 1:40 on the clock now, and here comes NVS downfield along clear, though, and Draco back on the offensive.
Oh my goodness. Fantastic angle from Heps. TKD somehow still able to make the save, and now possession for Ink with boost. Ethone, the challenge, does narrowly see it past Ink. TKD looking for the strong shot. Vibing already up. Sees Heps, who's now got the flip reset to the back post. It was, I think, still a little bit wide, but Blink's able to make the clearance away. Nice little interplay in front of the net, but still the defense holding up for NVS.
Now final minute here, game number 1, and game 1 super important in series like this, especially in a grand final. And Blinks, he gets a flip reset but doesn't use it, and heads off the corner here. Pass across, no one there, and NVS back on offense.
Inc. Just waiting to see what one of the Draco players is able to do. TKD, the first one towards the ball. Light touch past midfield. Inc. strong 50 calls Heps into action, and now a transition underway. Ethone pops out the backboard. It takes 2 from NVS to get it towards the corner. Might take more to see them actually get it away and out of harm's way. Blinksy, the challenge to the side wall. Ethone gonna cut it off.
Final 15 seconds here, regulation. A shot will go through. TKD might just take game 1.
Well, Ethan's cut was pretty good, but when Heps gets bumped and there's a demo on it looked like vibing at the back post, TKD has a free net to shoot at. Well, now they just need to hold on for a couple more seconds, and an unexpected start to this series, I think, is just about to become a reality, Nation.
Well, Draco fell in game 1 to New England Kings earlier today. Then they brought it back, so they're not this familiar territory down 0-1, but again, a team like Draco don't expect to see them down 0-1 like this, but NVS Esports putting up a fight.
Yeah, perhaps it's a sign of things to come, that there's not as much between these two sides as we might think, and that this series could end up going down to the wire just like the last series.
Yeah, I think the skill gap between Draco and the rest of BLCS is really starting to close as game 2 upcoming here, and now Draco find themselves down 0-1 again for the second time today.
Hey, you always back them though to you're usually backing them to be able to just completely dominate the series, but I think even in this situation, you back them to be able to bring it back, perhaps even take the lead after 2, maybe even 3 games in this series. You never quite count them out. NVS, they got creative in those first couple of in that first game, in those first couple of moments. They have to keep changing and being dynamic if they want to find consistent results against Draco.
Right, now Draco Esports going to really put it to the pedal to the metal here and fight their way back in this series, but Inc. and the rest of NVS trying to maintain their lead here and make it 2-0, but Draco Esports know this territory all too well.
That they do. Still got the result over New England Kings. Inc. trying to take the shot towards the net. Good block by Vibing. Heps out to Ethone for the transition. Blink's in a great spot to be able to make the block, get the catch. Couldn't quite get the 50. Inc. gives it up to Vibing, who looks for the little drop down towards the middle of the pitch. Heps had to pop it up high to prevent a dangerous double commit for Draco Esports. Now Ethone, the pop-up. Inc. down to the ground, and it's going right towards Vibing, who sends it high. Blinksy needs to get a crucial touch. Inc. will see the follow-up out towards the corner. Heps to Ethone, and then to Vibing. They still can't find a way through.
The defense of NVS comes in clutch there after the barrage of attacks from Draco, and it does not work out, and they're still on offense here, and TKD's awkward. It's wide open, but the clear comes through as NVS remain unscathed.
Yeah, somehow, some way, for all that pressure, Draco not able to find a solution to get through the NVS net. Got through got a couple good looks in succession, but still not able to put themselves on the board. TKD out towards the sidewall, Vibing off the stealing. Might have the follow-up themselves. They do not. Well played by Inc. to get it over 2. Now, can be smart here. Maybe find themselves a shooting opportunity. It was cut out by Ethone well.
Game at number 2 now, 3:10 to go, and NVS looking pretty good so far here in the opening frame, and Draco Esports have had some chances, but Inc.'s going to make it 1-0 for NVS.
That's just great vision from Inc. Sees reads the drop perfectly from Blakesy. That is not an easy read at all. It's at that part of the wall where it's still kind of flat, but still gets that downward push when the ball lands there. Excellent read, and they get a goal off of it.
Here comes Draco. This one close, but NVS to no avail here for Draco. They get the clear away, and Heps is going to hold this ball in possession for Draco a little bit longer. No follow-up there, though, and Inc. on the clear, and about we're approaching halftime A-Wash. 2 minutes and change gone. Now NVS back on the other end.
Inc. with the boost steal as well makes that job a little bit more difficult for Ethone. They just have to boom it away and perhaps chase on a hopeful challenge. Epps pops it up. It rolls up the backboard. Vibing, flip, reset, no follow-up. And now NVS might be able to counter as Heps and Ethone both caught backwards. Blinksy with the boost steal, the touch inside, Ink looking for the front post. TKD up to beat one. Clean reset on the sidewall as well to recover. They will get the midfield challenge after Blinksy, who's looking now for something. Nice follow-up, pass off the backboard, almost sneaks it in the front post. Is there anybody up? Ink gonna get beat by Ethone for a big clear for Draco.
2 minutes left to go. Long clear forward. TKD all the way across the pitch here. Ink on the follow-up, though. 2 minutes left, and Draco got to find a way to respond here. Don't want to go down 0-2. As Draco Esports, very unfamiliar territory. 3 down 0-2 here, Awash.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be interested in the stats on when the last time they were down 0-2 in a series was, because even when they do lose, it's always very, very close. 2-0 in a series, 2-0 in a game, very, very uncharted waters for Draco.
I know they were swept 2 seasons ago in BLCS. That's probably the last time they were down 0-2. So it's definitely been a really long time since they've been down like this, but still a lot of clock to go, and 90 seconds is plenty of time for a team like Draco.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice drop from Heps. Unfortunate that it didn't have quite enough dip to get under the bar. The infield plays still looking dangerous, but still no proper connections on him. A little bit of a double commit from NVS. He's vibing 1v1 with Ink, but Blink's able to get back in time.
Game number 2. Final minute approaching here. Heps across the field. Shot blocked. 60 seconds to go, and NVS in very comfortable territory here. And with the final minute here, Draco is starting to struggle and be a little bit nervous, like we mentioned before.
Absolutely. I can't see Draco going that much longer without getting a goal on the board. But Blinksy, did they have the reset off the soon? They still managed to get the 50 on Heps. NVS getting exactly what they hoped for out of Blinksy. Some very mechanical and pop-off potential plays. Converted some of that play into some really good looks, a handful of goals. Quite a little bit of a double commit at the midfield line, but it doesn't look like Draco was ready to pounce.
20 seconds to go. Heps far clear forward. TKD will pop it back in the Draco's territory, and Ethone back to the NVS side. And 10 seconds left. Draco needs a goal right now, but it's not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Draco Esports are now down 2-0 in the best of 7.
Not a phrase that I thought we'd be saying this evening, Nation, but here we are. Blinksy with the own goal. But my goodness. Draco have their work cut out for them, that's for sure.
They do indeed. Now down 2-0 in the series. It can only give up one more game. But say it ain't so. Game 3 comes up and Draco goes down 0-3. That would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think only in our wildest dreams would we be seeing a grand finals appearance from Draco, and they're now in this position. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the time that they got swept was probably not in a winner-takes-all situation, or certainly not like a grand finals situation.
It was a regular season game to University of Connecticut. Back 2 seasons ago, they were swept. That's the last time I can remember them being down like this. So, I know that it was vibing Tub and Ethone. That was an unfortunate series for them, but this is a new series, playing for money, playing for points in the Grand Circuit. So, I mean, it's still a lot on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. You still can't quite count Draco out. Even in uncharted waters, they still got that quality on them to be able to see themselves out of a sticky situation like this. I would hope that this game is a turning point for them. I don't quite want to see this be a sweep in either direction. I'd like to see it be a little bit closer than that.
Right. I mean, I think going into this series, we definitely didn't expect to be at this point in this series where Draco still has not won a game, but NVS putting up a strong fight. Draco, again, a top team here in the BLCS. They have what it takes to win any series, really. And they just got to get the job done here and get back in this series and resurge and hopefully tie us up and bring us to a Game 6 or Game 7.
Double touch from Blinksy. Still keeps it somehow out of the way of Draco's reach. TKD. Not with a lot of boost, but still enough to find the infield pass. Blinksy towards the backboard. TKD will follow it up. No boost to their name now. Ethone tapped down to Vibing, who almost wasn't ready for it. They did manage to get a little bit of control out of it. Now Ethone, their attempt to carry it out towards midfield and create something more off of the extension. Heps is able to see it in the corner, but Ink on the back wall does, maybe not enough to get it out. Nice little pre-flip. Will get it out to midfield.
Blinksy a good clear away there, and Heps in the back corner. Pops this one high, and Vibing a miss again, and Draco low boost here for Heps, but will take out Ink. This one goes to the right wall, and a minute gone already, and both teams exchanging some blows, but no goal in the early frame.
Great little beat in the corner from Ethone to go one-on-one with the defender. And it's a great change of possession for them. Does Heps have the finish? They don't. The challenge was really good at the front post from the NVS defense. Drop down from Ethone towards Ink and not towards a friendly. Now Vibing gives that up to Blinky. Dangerous position to do that in. And now Heps up at midfield. Has the flip reset? Do they have anything more? No bump, so Ink will get the tap out. Vibing towards net, blocked by Blinksy.
Now Ethone on the right side here. Draco Esports back on defense, Vibing in a 1-on-3. Blinksy gets past one, Heps a long clear forward, and 2 minutes gone. Draco Esports look to extend here.
Absolutely. I think Draco's getting a better look at the possession now and trying to be able to take control of the ball, but for all the nice infield plays that we had leading up to this point, they've now kind of resorted to the solo plays, which even those have not quite been working out for them. Almost called me wrong once again. Blinksy, great interception. Do they have a pinch inside? No pinch, and maybe still a pass. Still not there. Ink the pinch out towards the corner, but Ethone able to kick it right back out.
Ethone now back towards the corner here. NVS approaching halftime. Still tied at 0 here, AWash, and Draco getting aggressive here in the first couple seconds of the second half, and still getting pressured back, and now the long clear comes through. NVS able to kick it right back out to the Draco side.
Yeah, for everything that Draco is pulling out of their bag of tricks, there always seems to be an answer from NVS, which there's not many teams that can say that they've been able to do that. Even, or I guess regardless of how you feel Blinksy affects the NVS roster, he's not carrying by any means. Ink and TKD are absolutely putting in quality performances themselves. It's really a team effort from NVS that is seeing them hold Draco to this point. They still need a goal in Game 3 to put themselves even more in front, but it seems like that go-ahead goal is just waiting to be put in.
Right, and last night TKD was a big problem for Cryos Gaming in the quarterfinal matchup, and we just watched all three members of NVS really go to work against Kool-Aid Man. They're doing a stellar job here against Draco Esports, one of the titans in BLCS, and they are making Draco look absolutely silly.
Blinksy, big clear, sends Vibing all the way to their back corner, and then some. Oh my goodness, the whip requires a goal line save from Heps. Probably one of the few nervy moments that we've seen from Draco. Sure that they've been down in this series, but nothing quite as nervy as that. That's definitely got to change for Draco if they want to get a game off of NVS, and if they want to keep themselves alive in this series.
Right, NVS could just be one goal away from a 3-0 start to this grand final. Draco Esports have got to score the next goal and send us to a Game 4 at 2-1 as 30 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, double tap potential! Ethan didn't quite get it, but Heps is there for the finish. Final 30 seconds now, Nation. And Draco find themselves finally on the board.
Draco finally get their first lead, I believe, since Game 1. 28 seconds left now.
Do NVS have the ice in them to get a equalizer in Game 3 to maintain their healthy lead over Draco in this series? Blinksy will try to get one more possession on this ball before dumping it out to midfield. TKD gets beat. And now all hands on deck at the back wall. This Ink puts it towards the back wall. Blinksy through 150s it past the second. Will take the mid boost from TKD, and now there's two of them close. Hess was able to 50 it into a favorable position. Ethone not able to drop it down. Blinksy The flip reset, the attempt to carry to the back post, nobody there for the finish. Draco finally get themselves a game win.
Game 3 goes to Draco, now 2-1. And Draco Esports look to continue their performance here going to Game 4. Now they finally find themselves a win.
Yeah, I think it was a matter of time before Draco finally figured things out. Although it still wasn't quite a dominant performance for them by any means. NVS still having actually more opportunities than Draco in that whole series, but Draco just able to get one in the back of the net is really what it came down to. Could very well be like that for this entire series, but for Draco, I'd still like to see them perhaps try to have a little bit more interplay within themselves. I think they're being a little over reliant on solo plays, just kind of hoping to work out. So I think if they can make that little adjustment, they might put NVS on their toes a little bit more.
I would agree. I mean, they're going to take the full 60 here, but NVS Esports, they finally do fall short. So they're going to kind of go back in the drawing board and fix their game plan moving here to Game 4. They finally do get defeated, but Draco Esports going to continue their surge here and hopefully kind of press forward and win this series for them. But NVS Esports, again, they could very well pull off another shocker here, and what a weekend it would be if NVS won this event.
Absolutely. Any BLCS event that doesn't end with a Draco Esports in the champions column is certainly a surprise.
Right.
Sorry.
I mean, right. Like as I said earlier, I think the skill gap between Draco Esports and the rest of BLCS is really starting to close. We've seen NEK do it, TTO do it as well. A lot of these teams are giving them one close series.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna allude to. Is that there's been sort of this. There has been this closing of the gap that eventually teams will catch up with Draco. NVS perhaps being an unlikely candidate to fill that space. I think the main name that comes to mind is TTO, and of course UConn, probably the another contender there, but they didn't even make it into the top 4. So still uncharted territories for both teams. NVS having the lead on Draco, but Draco now on a good way to coming down from 0-2 in the series.
Right, a good start here. I mean, again, like you just mentioned, I think New England Kings and Koiman also kind of searching their way up the BLCS list of top teams, but now NVS trying to find their way up on that list, and Draco Esports really, like you mentioned, had won, but they only won 2 events last year, the Summer Classic first place and the Grand Circuit Finals first place, but their previous placements 4th and 8th, so I mean, it's not really that great for the 8th place finish, but damn, do they have a good last back of the year.
Absolutely. TKD, ooh, dangerous spot to control the ball with Vibing flying in. Vibing does get demoed for that effort somehow. Now Ethon, ooh, nice continuation to pass it inside. Shot wide from Vibing. That's not the first time that Vibing has had a decent opportunity to shoot directly at the net and has sent the effort either high, wide, or both. Perhaps that is one thing that could be improved upon for Draco, is their finishing. When they do get these looks, they have to make them count.
I agree 100% here. An ink from the backside, a long clear incoming, and Draco Esports to rotate back on defense. But they have a lead in the first minute, something I haven't seen tonight so far. So they're going to be very happy with their comfortable 1-0 lead here. Make that 2-0. Blinksy can't save it. Ethon gets the second goal here. A minute gone.
Yeah, despite the best efforts of the goalkeeper, Ethon's shot was well placed, just out of reach of Blinksy to make it 2-0 just after the opening minute of game number 4. This looks closer to the Draco Esports that I think we were prepared to see for this entire competition, but certainly in the moment of the grand finals. But NVS, the saving grace for them in this game is that they've got time on their side. They can still figure out some adjustments, bring out that creativity once again, and find a way to bring themselves to a more level playing field.
Right, I think Draco Esports are doing a stellar job here in Game 2. They've really Game 4. They've made the right adjustments, and oh my goodness, double flip reset there out of Blinksy as Ethon gets a big clear, and it's right on target up to Blinksy. Can he drop it down? No, and Heb's able to cut that off perfectly.
Heb's now 1v1 with TKD, looking for the front post. Not quite able to get it. Ethon almost I'm not really sure what I would have called that if he would have been able to get it in. Maybe a ground pinch, maybe a Doomsday, maybe some sort of mix of both. Regardless, though, they still got the pressure. Vibing will finally get a goal, making it 3-0 for Draco.
3-0. Draco really starting to come alive in this series in Game 4. Took them long enough, but they're really putting the pedal to the metal now, and NVS find themselves down at 3-0 going into the back half of 3 minutes.
Yeah, at this point, NVS, yeah, they need to take the rest of this game to just kind of, I guess, get a couple ideas of what they can do differently to try to take down Draco. Because 3 goals is asking a lot in any series. It's certainly possible, but I almost feel like the better use of their time would be to let this break even at 2 apiece and head into Game 5 knowing that here is a change to our game plan that we can make to try to make this more difficult for Draco.
Right, now, I mean, you did it in Games 1 and 2. You really made Draco work for it, and they just couldn't get the job done, and you pressured them a lot, but now in Games 3 and 4, like we've seen, it's been all Draco Esports. NVS have been kind of quiet here.
Oh, it's a well-placed shot by Ethone. The follow-up, not quite there. Blinksy looking for a flip reset, still able to beat it past one out to the corner, but Ink not there. TKD last back for a split second as Blinksy was recovering from the demo. Now Heps. Control got away from him, but it's out to Vibing, who sees the downfield pass. Heps is able to bump after the touch. Vibing double is successful. And now it's 4-0 for Draco. And if we weren't in that position already, Nation, NVS are certainly now in the position where they just need to say GG's go next.
Right, I think, we've mentioned it a couple times even yesterday when it just kind of gets to a game like this where it's kind of a lopsided score. You just need to look forward to the next game with that clean slate of 0-0 and just, get back in a good mindset and move forward in the series because there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, certainly lots of time left in the series for both squads. So Draco will have to find ways to continue this dominance, to continue their good run of form in the last 10 minutes or so. NVS, likewise, still have time to be able to make some adjustments, make some changes, try to throw some wrenches in the Draco playstyle.
Final 70 seconds hitting here. Still a 4-0 score pass down. Ethone not able to read that in time. And here comes NVS maybe for one more. Blinksy can't double. TKD from the infield shot blocked out. 60 seconds to go.
Good 50 from Ink on the sidewall. Vibing's touch out towards the middle. Blinksy lands on top of it, but now Ethone taps it towards the net, and that's actually going to squeak its way in. Looks like Ink overshot the back post just narrowly, but even then, sometimes that's all it takes to be able to... it looks like they kind of pre-jumped as well, tried to recover. Regardless, though, those types of mini mistakes are going to cost you against teams like Draco, and they've got to make sure that they cut those out heading into Game 5.
And I'm Draco, one of those teams who just likes to have fun and, take their time and mess around when they can, but I think now they're starting to really take NVS seriously, and the change we've seen in Games 3 and 4 is pretty drastic here, and it's 5-0 in Game 4 right now with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, nearly 6-0, but for NVS, it's actually going to get worse. It still might, actually. Perhaps their second goal of this game, and yeah, certainly chalked at this point for NVS. Hopefully, Game 5 can get off to a better start for them.
Yeah, hopefully we see a much closer game in Game 5, but Draco, this is familiar territory for a lot of us casters who have watched this team play countless times over and over again, where some of these scores are completely lopsided, but NVS, a very talented team, high expectations for them moving forward, but Draco Esports are doing a stellar job here in Game 4.
Absolutely, and there's something still to be said about the fact that Draco have not let off the gas pedal. There's been a element of maybe just like freestyling or just buying time for the series to end, but even then, I think that the fact that they're still like taking shots directly at the net, scoring goals, everybody getting 2 apiece, I think that says a lot about Draco's approach to this series. They're taking it way more seriously now, and they wanted to shut down any hopes that NVS had of getting any sort of late momentum heading into the rest of the, I guess, the back half of the series.
Right, and now we go to game 5. We're tied up at 2-all, and now NVS Esports really got to bunker down here and find a way to win, because Draco Esports is only going to get better as this series goes on. And now NVS, what can they do to respond?
They're gonna have to create. They're gonna have to force Draco to make mistakes. I know that is an incredibly tall ask for Envious, but we've seen Draco in the first 2 games kind of create those mistakes for themselves. So it's certainly not completely out of the question. No adjustment to beat Draco is going to be easy to pull off, but that is, I think, the best possibility that they can get is try to force a couple of those mistakes from Draco, drag them out of position, force them to get an awkward whiff or maybe a really awkward touch, and then go from there.
Right, now 4:38 to go. I think, NVS, they're more than capable of pulling off a win here. This match for championship point AWash, so win this game and you're 1 game away from winning the event.
Good pop-up by Blinksy out to TKD. Nice team play to get it into the opposite corner. Nice little 50/bump from Blinksy also forces the Draco handle a little bit. Now Blinksy towards the backboard. It was a whiff from the defender, but Blinksy didn't have the pathing, or rather the boost, to stay on that path. Pop up to the backboard. Draws 2 towards dangerous positions around the net. The drop from TKD. Ooh, nice bump from Blinksy to deny Heps. Now 1v1 with Blinksy and Ethone. Stole the boost and did just enough to put off Blinksy from a counterattack.
That boost got stolen. It's huge for Draco. It's an open shot for Ethone, but it's going to come off the post and bounce out. The rebound's there, but it's almost saved. Ethone finds the opener in game 5.
I thought that was going to be a chance by the wayside for Draco. Ethone rattling it off the sidewall, but is able to follow it up. Still able to put it on target despite the defender in the net. Once again, we see Draco up 1-0, more than completing their comeback up to this point. They still need to see out the rest of this game and one additional game to call themselves Grand Circuit Winter Invitational champions. But they're certainly looking good for it at this moment.
Right, NVS only down 1-0 here in the first 2 minutes. It's a lot better than game number 4, where they were down a couple goals in the opening half, but now Ethone around the corner here. NVS really got to reconnect here and find their way down the field and create opportunities for each other on the other end, and Draco Esports defense is going to have to get tested here if NVS is going to do anything in this series.
Yeah, the 3-pronged attack from NVS shut down pretty quickly. I guess it more so fell apart rather than got shut down. Blinksy, creative attempt off of the ceiling. TKD, good first touch. Couldn't quite still keep themselves in front of it. But, oh, nice bump from TKD, but nobody's going to be able to beat vibing to that ball. I like the physical play from NVS. They've got to find it now in the crucial moments to really throw the Draco Esports into red alert. Or the Draco defense into red alert.
Right, and I think as we enter this back half, and Draco Esports again are going to continue to get more aggressive over and over again. And here comes Ethone, another opportunity there. Will come by the wayside, those it bounces towards the corner, and now Draco still continuing to move on, and that shot is just off the post, and TKD and NVS able to move forward.
Let's see, popping this over 2, has the boost to maybe get it past the third, sends the touch wide. Ink is able to follow it up. Blinksy looking for a potential challenge. Will stay low, gather the corner boost. And a great touch from vibing out to the sidewall, followed up by Heps. Ethone is in the corner, perhaps can get one more. Nearly did. So Draco, great interplay between themselves to go from one end of the pitch to the other. Relieve of any sort of pressure that Envious had. And make Envious's job a whole lot more difficult in trying to find an equalizer in this game.
Final 90 seconds of Game 5 concluding here, and NVS Esports still trying to find their first goal, and Ink's shot just going to be wide, and Heps with a free clear forward. Final 70 seconds of regulation approaching.
I think overall this game has been much better from Envious, but they still have not been able to find that one way to break through Draco's defense. Earlier, there were a lot of mistakes from Draco, which made this much easier. but now they are pretty locked down. It is going to be very difficult to force them to give away the ball in a crucial spot.
Right, and 45 seconds left. Not a lot of clock to work with here for NVS. They got to do something right now. Down the field and create opportunities, create pressure, and give yourself a chance to tie this up. As Draco Esports still hanging on to control here, and Vibing might have put the dagger in there as it's 2-0.
This is just, excuse me, a great follow-up play from Vibing. Recognizes that the NVS defense is caught a little out of place after the high touch, and finds the open net. Now a 2-goal lead, normally insecure under most circumstances, but when you're talking about Draco against pretty much anybody else in BLCS, I'd say that's about one of the safest bets that you can make. It's not safe. There's not a chance here with the blue net looming and open, but still not able to capitalize on it. NVS look like they might have to wait for Game 6 to really make their mark on this series again.
They clear towards the corner. 8 seconds to go. NVS now going to be down in their final life in this best-of-7 grand finals. Draco Esports 1 game away as they're up on championship point.
Well, we thought we had quite a unexpected series of plays in the opening moments of this series, but last 15-20 minutes has gone more or less as expected. Draco have found their groove. They completely dismantled NVS in Game 4, and now they find themselves on championship point. It's said this a bajillion times, we always do, but never going to be easy for NVS. However, they've looked really solid at times at this tournament. I believe that they still got something left in them to be able to make this crown their own.
Right. So now moving forward, it's 3 straight for Draco. They're 1 away. NVS have to win Game 6 in a must-win game.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a good, I guess what am I trying to say? An optimistic result for a lot of teams in BLCS to see that Draco, drop in 2 games to a team that maybe many consider not supposed to be in this position in the first place, and perhaps further evidence that the gap is closing between Draco and everyone else. But NVS can still bring that gap even closer with a couple of good performances in the Game 6 and Game 7 if they can get it to that point.
Right, and we're already 10 seconds through here, and Blinksy around the corner. Draco Esports going to get tested hopefully early here in NVS, try to find their way through this series and send us to a Game 7, but Draco Esports, very talented. I think, honestly, it ends here in Game 6.
It's hard to disagree with the way that Draco has recovered after the first 2 games, and with the pressure now that they're showing in the first 30 seconds or so. It's again difficult to disagree. Am I still hopeful? Yes. Am I being a tad realistic, especially after this first goal from Heps? I think so.
Draco up 1-0, about 40-ish seconds gone, and now NVS are down early here. 4:18 left to go though.
Yeah, still a lot of time, especially off of a favorable kickoff. Blinksy popped it up, but not really able to follow it themselves. Great little maneuver behind the ball from Heps to draw in the NVS defender and force them to whiff. Blinksy to have the ground pinch they do towards the back wall. They also are looking for the bump on Ethone. Almost caught Heps. Heps and Ethone actually caught each other. TKD got demoed. Ink got the shot on target. There was still a save somewhere in there, and we still find ourselves at 1-0 Draco.
3:45 to go on the clock. About a minute gone. NVS got to make their presence known here. They've dropped 3 games straight, and not a lot of goals have been scored in those 3 games from NVS. It's just been all Draco Esports in the driver's seat on the offensive side of things. It's great defensive for NVS. It's just being penetrated time and time again.
There's a good rattle off the backboard, and it caught a single Draco defender stuck in net. That is when you have to strike. And Blinksy and Ink finally getting a goal against Draco at a very crucial moment as well. It had been quite a while since they had scored. They really needed it.
Right, 3:25 to go. I mean, vibing it off the kickoff here. Draco Esports, they do finally concede a goal, though. NVS, it's got to be positive momentum for them moving forward in this best of 7, and 2 minutes now gone. We're all tied up again.
I like the continuation from TKD in the corner. No boost, still trying to earn a 50 to maybe hope that they can beat one, or at least just draw somebody out of position. They'll commit, though, from NVS, gives Heps the free backboard. Well, it was free until there's a defender on it. Great quick decision-making from NVS to deny what really could have been a very dangerous play from Draco. Uh-oh.
2:40 on the clock to go, and vibing around the corner. Draco Esports putting pressure on, though, as halftime approaching here in Game 6, and now NVS, here comes Blinksy off the sidewall, grabs the full pad, vibing up the ceiling, trying to ego challenge, does not make contact as NVS extend forward here in the final 2.5 minutes.
It's very dangerous to to pull off an ego challenge against Blinksy, because he's got every tool in the book to be able to defeat a single defender challenge in like that. Thankfully, Vibing was smart about it and did it when he had 2 players behind him to still continue the defense, but still very a little bit of a risk, especially with the pop-off potential that Blinksy has.
2 minutes on the clock to go. The pop-up potential, like I mentioned, from Blinksy is outstanding. We saw it in Game 1. The guy went crazy, but he's got to do it again here in Game 6 to give his team a chance at victory here and extend this series to a Game 7 on Champions Field A-Wash with a minute 40 to go.
Haps's drop down still met by another Draco player. Now, Ink, I think forced past 2 forced 2 past him. Vibing was the third man back, cleared it away. They now got possession going the other way. Blinksy, good 50. Heps up first. Has enough boost to be able to take a second, third, and a dribble touch. Now Ethone to the sidewall. Forces the 50 down. Ink towards the backboard. Vibing. Good. Oh, well, half decent read, but missed the contact. And Ink will slot it in at the front post. NVS now find themselves with a lead above Draco, and now in the driving seat to send this series to our second full best of 7 of the weekend.
2-1. NVS trying to extend this series to a game number 7 here as Draco Esports now playing from behind here in the final 60 seconds. A-Wash, can they tie it up?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they even if that hadn't literally just happened, I would have still backed Draco to be able to at least put the pressure on and force NVS into some great defensive maneuvers to keep it at the previous scoreline. But now we find ourselves all tied up. Exactly a minute to go. Heps up off of the kickoff. Found the flip reset. Found Ethone diving through the middle. And Ethone will bury it top corner just like that. Draco now just hijacking this driver's seat. And now they look like they might close this series out in 6.
Yep, 50 seconds to work with now. NVS got to pull out everything they have in their arsenal to find a victory here and send us to 7. But Draco Esports got to run this clock down with 45 seconds to go.
Absolutely. TKD taken to the skies, pops it up in a dangerous spot. Blinksy up, forcing a defender. And now Vibing, great touch. Maybe has the follow up on the 50. It had no boost to help them out, but still works out. 2 diving past. Now Blink out towards the corner. Inside from Vibing. TKD, awkward. Vibing with the finishing touch, their second goal of the game. And now makes it a 2-goal cushion for Draco. And this is what makes them so dangerous, Nation. We saw them down 1-2 for a split moment. Just like that, they get an equalizer, a go-ahead goal, and now the dagger.
That might be the dagger there, A-Watch. And wait, off the kickoff, a chance. No, it's taken away by Heps and Ink. Now has to score here on this possession, but Draco cut more time off this clock with a chance to score again. And Heps is going to run this clock out, potentially in the orange side. 10 seconds left, and NVS has no control of possession here, and this one might fall through. No, it's blocked. But ladies and gentlemen, I think it's over. Draco Esports are your Winter Invitational champions.
It was a brilliant fight from NVS. Taking it to, I believe, round 5 in close qualifiers. You said round, I believe, 4 in the in the Swiss stage earlier in the weekend. It was an unreal run from NVS, and unfortunately they fall just short of the mark. But my goodness, did they give Draco one hell of a run for their money?
100%. They definitely did give them a hell of a run, and massive props to all 16 teams who played this weekend. I mean, we had a lot of good games, a lot of good series to watch, and a lot of these teams exceeded expectations for me, and I think a lot of people in the community as well. We saw a lot of shockers this weekend, like TTO didn't even make it to day 2. We just saw Draco Esports take to game 6 twice in a row, and we've seen an NVS defeated Coleman just about an hour ago. So I mean, we saw a lot of really good series this weekend.
Absolutely, plenty of high quality Rocket League on showcase in the last couple of days, and well, there's still plenty of more to come. We've got spring open qualifiers. I believe that's just about to head into stage 2, if I'm not mistaken. So sure, we'll be back at this stage before too long to bring more of the top teams from BLCS.
Right, hopefully we're gonna have a lot of new teams come out of those qualifiers too. I'm sure into the close quals back in the main event. But we're gonna be right back here, Awash, back in April. So we're really not that far away from the next event of the year.
Yeah, count me excited. Whether it's my team playing in it or me just as a spectator and a commentator, I'm ready for it.
March 24th to 26th, we'll see everybody at the Spring Open. So we're excited to be back. A lot of matches coming up these next couple weeks with regular playoffs and everything for BLCS. So stay tuned. This is where you're gonna find all the BLCS action. Until next time, it's from Nation and Awash. We'll see you guys later.